Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 471. It's Wednesday, February 20th, 2013, 4 p.m. Pacific Time. Internet talk radio for your imagination. Mike Matthews broadcasting from the last place on Earth located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, California. Today we hear from Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, the Brewmaster. Plus we bring you part 2 of Into an Interview with Nick Krill of the band the SPINTO Band.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Sony is going to have a successor to PlayStation 3, but I don't speak gamer, so I don't understand.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
The new device is expected to have new technology for streaming video games over the web. I have no idea what that means, but I know my name's not Fred. It will also have higher fidelity cameras for the Sony Move motion game products. And Kelly Clarkson has problems with Clive Davis's Bitch Deluxe book, where he claims that she made a big deal out of
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Telling her she had to record that song Since You've Been Gone. She says that's not true. He's got his songs mixed up, but that she loves
Mike's
him anyway.
Daily.
She says she wanted
Podcast.
more guitars added to Since You've Been Gone, but Clive didn't because he's old. Oh, look who just walked in. Hi, Mike. It's Benita, the rodeo queen. How y'all doing?
And it's a disgruntled fiddle player, tell you what.
What?
Sorry, I just bumped my head against the mic stand.
Why do you do that?
Because my cowboy hat's really big.
It is a huge cowboy hat. Why do you have to wear such a big cowboy hat when you're inside? Isn't the whole point of a cowboy hat to keep you shaded from the sun and the extreme elements? We don't have any of those in here.
Yeah, we have an extreme element.
What's that?
Your elemental lack of a handle on reality, tell you what.
Wow, you got me. What?
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 Tell me more about Kelly Clarkson's problems with Clive Davis's book.
You almost said Clive Owen, didn't you?
I think I might have.
Yeah, Clive Davis, the guy behind Whitney Houston's huge success, Santana's big success, just about all these big artists that you love to listen to and enjoy, and you probably still hear all over the radio. This guy, Clive Davis, apparently had some problems with Kelly Clarkson. She says, yes, I did cry in his office once. Kelly says, I cried after I played him a song I had written about my life called Because of You. I know that song. Wasn't that a huge hit on both pop and country radio when Reba McEntire redid it with Kelly Clarkson doing a duet with her? She says, quote, I cried because he hated it and told me verbatim that I was a S-word TTY writer who should be grateful for the gifts that he bestows upon me. Well, Mark, that's not very nice. I love Reba McEntire. And she says that Clive continued on about how the song didn't rhyme and how I should just shut up and sing. What's wrong with songs that don't rhyme? Not everything has to rhyme.
Keep telling yourself that, Mike.
And she says, this was devastating coming from a man who, as a young girl, I considered a musical hero and was so honored to work with. But I continued to fight for the song and the label relented and it became a worldwide hit. He didn't include that in the book. Well, Mike, that's really interesting. I love Reba. Look who else just walked in.
Hello there, Mike. I make the root beer. I'm the brewmaster. Oh, boy.
Brewmaster, there is a police hiring boom going on in the Bay Area of California.
Really? I don't want to be a policeman.
I think you should become a policeman because after years of cutbacks and layoffs and now a climbing crime rate.
A climbing crime rate?
No, the other way. The police departments throughout the Bay Area have begun taking on new recruits again.
Yeah, Brewmaster, you should get in on that since you have the ability to make a toxic creation. What's that?
He's talking about your root beer.
Oh, boy.
Maybe they could use some of those police people to calm the Podcastro Valleyans down. Why do you say that, Mike? Because I picked up the local paper, the Podcastro Valley Forum, and the letters to the editor section. People complain about the most ridiculous things. I don't know if that's the way it is in your local hometown paper, but people are complaining about infantile things. We recently, last year, after a couple years of construction that slowed down traffic in the downtown Podcastro Valley area, They finally finished the renovation, and they put in like these low water needing, drought tolerant plants along the main boulevard. And people are complaining and saying, oh, those look like weeds. This looks like some cowboy town, Carson City. Ew.
Mark, that sounds like Pat.
Ah, an old Saturday Night Live character, Julia Sweeney.
But, Mac, I think drought-tolerant plants are supposed to work well in California where it doesn't get much rain.
Yeah, especially California. We don't get much rain, and thus these plants make sense. But people are complaining, oh, they're ugly. What the heck do you want? Where do you think you live? Gosh. I'd write a letter to the paper. I would write a letter and set these people straight. But A, I'm a horrible writer. And B, I have a podcast and I can do my criticisms immediately. But perhaps you disagree. You can email me very quickly. Send it off to mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com, and I will read it on the section emails from email.
Mark, I think they should have planted several rose beds of hydrangea.
Hydrangea?
How do you, too?
No, I didn't say hi, stranger. I said hi. Boy, puns suck. Mark, we gotta go. Bye, all. Bye. Reba's my hero. If you would like to be a guest on the show, if you would like to sponsor the show, or if you'd like to send the Brewmaster into the police force so that we will have more people on the police force wearing lederhosen suspenders and those funny hats with the goat tails sticking out, you can email me, mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com.
I want to become a police officer. Oh, boy.
Also, check out our website, mikesdailypodcast.com. Go there to find the link to where you can subscribe to this show in iTunes. And if you subscribe and if you comment and rate this show as well, more people find out about us, and that's good. And it's sort of like, yay for us. Also, if you go to mikesdailypodcast.com, you'll find a link to where to find us in Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Yelp, as well as you'll be able to read the blog and see the daily podcast picture that we bring to you at mikesdailypodcast.com. Also, the links to where you can hear us on internet radio stations, mikesdailypodcast.com.
Into an interview.
All right.
We're talking to Nick Krill of the band, the SPINTO Band. He is currently in Wilmington, Delaware, where the weather is dreary.
That's pretty good. Don't let the local government hear that. They'll be sad that we're dissing on Wilmington on the podcast.
Have you ever met Joe Biden?
Yeah, I have actually.
Get out!
I went to high school with one of his nieces, I think, and so he was probably. I remember at like a school play or something. I went up and shook his hand. So this was probably like, this is like 15 years ago or something. But
wow! Did he have hair then?
Yeah, I guess he kind of. I don't know. He had a suit. I remember that much. He had a smile. That's about all I remember.
That's all I think of too. When I just know there's a little bit of hair, a smile, and a suit.
Yeah.
When I think of Joe Biden, who may be our next president, as some people are saying, or Hillary, or that Paul Ryan. Who knows? It's a big mysterious world. Nick Krill could be our next president.
Hey, you never know, man. You get 40 years to figure it out.
So you actually would be great because you've been an international ambassador for our country. You went to Europe and the UK, I heard, on a tour.
Yeah, we did. We've been over there quite a bit, and I picked up again lately. Just got back from a little tour of France, which was really great. And then went over to Europe and the UK earlier this year as well. Or I guess later last year and back in the fall.
And what's the response been? What's been like going there? And
it's been great. I mean, I think we're a little more well received over in Europe, so it's actually really fun to go over there.
Wow.
Especially in France, it was really great. The venues are really great. Just, treating you like a king, kind of, and then the crowds are great too. Get to try and talk to them in French. I don't really know how to speak French, but I learned how to say, "Can I have some noise?" So I try and say that. On the last day, I learned how to say that, so I got to go back and say it again, I guess.
how do you remember how you say it?
I think it's going to be like this. Let me think. Purej ava debui. I think that's, can I add some noise? Basically, the Purej ava is can I have. So I learned that and then try and fudge my way through daily life, trying to figure out, like, I'd like some water or some food, please. And then the noise, obviously, is helpful. If I want to write a song like Jackhammer again, I just ask for that.
Oh, that's brilliant. Can I have some noise, please? That's a good name for a band, album, too.
See, this is crazy. You say you can't form a band, but already in like the 15 minutes we've been talking, you've come up with a band name and an album name.
You're right.
So,
and I'm drawing album art too as we're speaking.
Yeah, I think you're selling yourself short there.
Ah, that's how the only way I sell myself is of that nature. So you have this recording studio near a haunted house in Delaware.
Yeah.
What's the recording process like?
I guess for the last couple, so we've been in there for a couple years now. Recorded our last 2 albums in there, and it's been really great actually because we started when we're recording in there. It's just the band in there recording ourselves and working together, and it's kind of cool because it's sort of that's the way we originally started out. Down in the basement with the 4-track recorder and just all of us going down there and just working on songs. And then as we sort of picked up our musical careers, we started working in other studios and with other producers and engineers. And then the last time kind of went back to that old way of working like that we used to as kids, and it's been really good just trying to especially on this last album of ours, Cool Cocoon, really I felt like we were able to kind of mix the best parts of working as a team like we did when we were kids, mixed with, the lessons we've kind of learned from working with more experienced engineers and other studios and stuff like that, and tried to kind of mix them up in a way that kind of was exciting for us.
Wow, that's cool. And then this song, Summer Groff.
Yeah.
Tell me about this song.
Well, actually, that's an interesting one to bring up because that was a song that we had written, or started writing way back, when we were still in high school. So that was a song that kind of was birthed in that 4-track basement studio. And then fast forward to we were working on our album Moonwink in 2007, and we kind of we were actually just listening to old demo tapes from high school and oh man, this song Summer Groff is really cool, we should try and play that again. So we just sort of unearthed it from the old demo tape and kind of reworked it a little bit and recorded it again. I mean, on the old demo tape it was probably only 30 seconds long or something. It was like a verse, a chorus, a verse, and another chorus. And then we kind of elaborated on it and tried to make it more of a fully formed kind of pop song for that Moonwink album.
Oh, okay. And does it have anything to do with Janeane Garofalo?
It has a lot to do with Janeane Garofalo, just because back in that basement studio, we of course, first thing we did was set up the 4-track and a microphone. But then after a week or so, we decided, what we really need is to run a cable down here so we can watch cable TV while we record songs. So at that time, a lot of times, we'd record a song in a couple hours and then try and figure out a name, and we'd just turn on the TV and try and get some inspiration from whatever was on TV. And in that one, I remember we had I don't know what was on, but maybe Janeane Garofalo was on the TV during the recording of that song. So she ended up in the title, and I think the name Janeane ended up in the second verse.
Does she know about this song?
Not that I know of. Maybe if she listens to this podcast, maybe she'll find out.
Wow, Janeane Garofalo.
Maybe we could tweet at her or something. I don't know how she does that.
That is awesome. Well, she is an amazing. She's hilarious. Actually, she was just in San Francisco as part of Sketchfest.
Oh man.
They had a debate